Hey everybody, welcome to Mailin' It, the official podcast of the United States Postal Service. I'm Dale Parsan.
And I'm Carla Kirby. This episode, we're going to talk about the Postal Service's latest product offering, Ground Advantage, a revolutionary new program that will make package shipping simpler and cheaper for millions of businesses and consumers. Joining us on the show for the second time is Jakki Krage Strako, the Postal Service's Chief Commerce and Business Solutions Officer and Executive Vice President, to share some details on Ground Advantage and how it will improve package shipping when it launches this July. Jakki, welcome to Mailin' It.
Thanks, Carla.
Jakki, when we had you on the podcast last February, you talked about how the USPS Connect offering, which the Postal Service launched last year, was helping to simplify package shipping for Main Street businesses. Before we get into how Ground Advantage is taking those efforts a step further, would you mind sharing a brief introduction on your role and background with the Postal Service?
Absolutely. Thanks, Dale. I am Jakki Krage Strako. I am the Chief Commerce and Business Solutions Officer for the Postal Service. It's a new position. It's only been around really since Louis DeJoy became the Postmaster General. And when Louis joined the organization, what he saw was that we had a great opportunity to develop solutions for our customers based on the assets that the organization had. And it was the physical assets of our buildings. It was the network, whether it's our plant network, whether it's our post office network, and the transportation that connected all of that in between. So when Louis created the group that I have the pleasure of leading, when Louis created the Chief Commerce and Business Solutions group, he created 3 brand new vice presidents that I have the pleasure of working with. So first off, I've got our business development, and what that group is responsible for is going out and winning new business for our shipping customers. And they're also responsible for cultivating relationships with existing customers to grow our shipping as well as our mail business. That group is also responsible for contracting. So a lot of companies don't realize that we do write contracts for shipping. So this is my group that negotiates shipping contracts with our clients. Then I've got another group, Vice President Business Solutions, and under that group, we've got awesome people, a lot of engineers and other folks that really understand our network and our assets. And they are constantly modeling what are the opportunities that we can leverage and harness from the network that we have, whether it's open space on a package sortation equipment, whether it's open space in a truck, open space in a building. How do we take the assets that we already have and turn that into a solution for our customer? So that's what that group is all about. And they also own our product group. So that group's been really, really busy working on USPS Ground Advantage. And then last but not least, I have a facilities group. And what that team, they have a huge lift. So they're responsible for every single post office and plant and any infrastructure that we have in the Postal Service. And it is on top of that infrastructure of assets, of physical assets, of real estate, that we are able to do the network evolution that we've got underway, as well as assets with which we can develop solutions for our customers.
That is absolutely a lot.
That is a lot.
Right. So now that we have that framework, let's get into Ground Advantage. What's so exciting about this new offering?
Well, first and foremost, this is the continuation of the Delivering for America plan. So Louis and team announced the plan 2 years ago. And part of that is creating a integrated network for mail and packages. And by law now, 6 days a week, we are mandated to have an integrated network to move both mail and packages. And on top of that network, in the Delivering for America plan, we talk about the efficiencies and the service reliability that we're going for with our network. And that's really how USPS Ground Advantage was able to be formed and developed as a product. So as you may know, we had a network where we did have a ground product, and it had a really long service standard because it was moving through our NDC network. And for those who don't know our NDC network, it was a network of 21 facilities that covered the entire geography of the U.S. and it had a plant network that would process and sort packages, and then it would move the packages to the next NDC and then get them out to the post offices for delivery. So if you only have 21 NDCs to serve the whole country and a separate transportation network, you're going to have a slower product offering, and it's going to be a whole different cost base. So what Lewis and our partners on the network side and transportation side did is they collapsed the network. So instead of having a separate NDC network, all of those package processing operations and transportation got folded into our plant processing with our first class packages. So since we were merging those operations together, we had a great opportunity to upgrade service and to really make the Postal Service that much more affordable as a product offering.
From a customer perspective, it seems like this is also going to add benefit to our lives, right? For individuals who are mailing. Talk to me a little bit about the perception from the customer side for Ground Advantage.
Absolutely. Huge benefit. So first and foremost, especially with what's going on in the economy right now, cost. Every company, regardless of size, is looking at how do I extract cost right now. So shipping is it can be a significant part of the expense of a company. So all companies are looking for how can I get my product to my customer as quickly and affordably as possible. And that's what's great about this product. It's a 2 to 5 day service offering. So at a very affordable price, because again, we've merged two networks together. And we are doing this on existing transportation, existing processing equipment, and through existing facilities. So we're really able to keep this price point very affordable for a great service offering of 2 to 5 days. So that's first. Secondly, with this integrated network, we can be highly reliable. So if we make a service promise that this is a 2-day reach from point A to point B, we are going to make that 2-day reach with 95% plus certainty. So it's not only affordable price, but it's predictable and reliable so that you, as the customer, can meet your customers' expectations and make sure that they come back to you and continue to do business with you as a retailer.
Fantastic.
So I guess you could say that this is something that the customers wanted and needed and that we delivered on.
Absolutely. And I think the other key thing about our affordability is what we've done with this product and the product definition. So yes, it's 2 to 5 days, which is awesome. But what we also did is we studied in the marketplace what other offerings or benefits do we need to attach to the product. So what we saw, we had our Ground product previously, Parcel Select Ground, and it didn't offer features like insurance baked into the price. It didn't offer, hey, if Carla ordered something, but Carla moved and we have a forwarding order on file, it didn't include getting that product or that package forwarded to Carla. Or if maybe it was Dale didn't type in his right address when he was placing the order. And if it has to be returned to the shipper because it's not a valid address, for example, it includes getting that undeliverable as addressed back to the shipper. Whoever, the merchant. So those were some 3 pretty significant offerings that we decided to bake into this new product, USPS Ground Advantage. So that's a huge perk for customers. The other thing is with all of our products, there's no surprise. So at the end of the month, you don't get an invoice that says, hey, fuel went up by this %, so we're going to surcharge you this. Or, hey, that went to a residential address, so we're going to bump your price up by X. Our pricing is upfront affordable pricing, so you know exactly what you're going to pay, and at the end of the month, there's no surprise.
Simple and beneficial for everybody. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Jakki, so last time we spoke on USPS Connect, we talked about there being 3 different levels, let's call it that, of the Connect Suite program. So we had national, regional, local. Talk to me about how Ground Advantage plays into that.
Yeah, that's a great question, Dale. So USPS Connect had 4 real distinct segments. So it was the national to your reference, it was regional, it was local. And then the 4th category was really about getting into returns. And I'll want to hit on that first, and then I'll go backwards to the national because it does tie together. So USPS Connect Returns is really looking at our network as a full network. So a lot of people talk about last mile. Well, our last mile, 165 million addresses, 6 days a week, mandated by law. That's also our first mile. So there's 165 million opportunities 6 days a week for us to pick up the returns that need to get back to a merchant. So I'm going to start with the returns, but now I'll go back to national. Whether it's returns or national, we're really talking about what we call our full network products. So if I maybe have only 2 distribution centers in the country, or maybe 1 distribution center in the country, I need to get from my distribution center to anybody who's ordering from me. So I might need to get to Alaska, I might need to get to Iowa, I might need to get to Florida. So we have what we call network solution products. So that's our priority mail product. It is our former Parcel Select Ground product that used to move through our NDCs. And then we also have our first class package product currently that's going to be merged into the USPS Ground Advantage. So those are our national products. So what we did is we were looking at USPS Connect and we said, we've got national, we've got regional, we've got local, and we've got returns. So what did we need to do in the national product, that full network? What we really saw was we looked at our competitors, and our competitors had very distinct products. They have a ground product and they have an air product.
Yep.
Our priority product, some of it moves on the ground and some of it moves in the air. And our priority product is an overnight to 3-day service promise. Then we had our first class package offering that was a 2 to 5 day offering. And then our Parcel Select Ground that's now gone out of the NDC network, that was a 2 to 8 day product. So I think a lot of people were confused. What is, if I'm buying priority versus first class package, what am I buying? What's the difference? If I'm buying Parcel Select Ground versus priority, what's the difference? So part of it was just clarity, creating very, I'll just say, industry consistent products so that our customers really didn't have to figure out what's the difference between first class package, Parcel Select Ground, priority. Help me, make it simple, let me make choices. So part of what we're doing is really redefining. So we're saying that this is a ground product. So over the last year, Kelly Abney, our Chief Logistic Officer, and his team have created a full ground network. So now we have USPS Ground Advantage, which can move from tip of Florida to the tip of Maine or the tip of Florida to Washington State in 5 days. So that is our ground product to really compete head to head with our competitors' ground product.
It's pretty powerful, Jakki, and anybody who's been listening to the podcast for some time, this won't be a surprise, but I always like to talk about small businesses, especially coming out of the pandemic. So what I'm hearing here is this is going to be beneficial to everybody, but specifically I see it for small businesses, right? With them trying to compete with these larger competitors who can guarantee things like 3-day, 2-day, overnight, sometime 1-hour deliveries, right? How do I, as a candle maker, deliver and compete?
And that's a great point, because really for small and mid-sized businesses, a lot of them, their customer base is in a pretty tight geography. It might be 150, 200 miles around the town that they're in, that their reputation's been built and their brand has been built. And that's where, USPS Ground Advantage, number one, super affordable. Number two, access is easy. You can induct this volume in your local post office, or if you want, you can schedule the carrier to pick it up on her route as she's out delivering your mail. She'll pick that package up, bring it back to the post office. We'll induct it into the network. And again, since a lot of small and mid-sized businesses, if their customers are within 100 and 150 miles of the town in which they live, then you're not looking at a 5-day standard. You're probably looking at a 2-day standard. But if I do have a customer that's clear on the other side of, the country, absolutely. We've got a very affordable, service reliable product for them to reach. And for a lot of small businesses, money's tight. They don't have the backing that the bigger companies have. So being able to save, pennies per box, dimes per box to ship it, it adds up and it adds up quickly.
Absolutely.
The pickup's huge because I think a lot of small businesses, they don't have the staff to run to the post office or run to the competitors. And then, the competitors can charge extra fees for doing the pickup. If it's in line of travel of our carrier, we'll swing by and pick it up. Just schedule it up front with the carrier and we'll pick it up at no extra cost.
We're going to be there anyways, right?
Absolutely. It's our first mile and our last mile. Same thing. Yep.
So when we look at the different advantages that you outlined, it seems like there's something for every business, from the small business that's doing local work to those that are going nationwide. When you look at that, is there a particular thing that you like most about the Ground Advantage product?
I think the simplicity and the affordability are the two things. And when I'm talking to customers, those are really especially right now, that's what's of most importance to everybody right now. And then I think the added advantage of knowing the pricing up front and no surprises at the end. Because if you're a small business or a huge business, you've got your budget and you need to live within that budget. And if you get hit with unexpected fees at the end of the day or at the end of the month, it can be very troubling, and especially in these economic times. So I think those are the key features that are exciting. I think also when I talk to customers, it's not necessarily just for USPS Ground Advantage. It's the benefits of working with the Postal Service. So when I look at USPS Ground Advantage and what we've accomplished is we've collapsed a network. So we had an NDC network with NDC transportation. We've collapsed that into our mail and other package network. So we've eliminated all that carbon, all those empty trips, or because they're not used anymore, so they weren't empty before, but we've eliminated trips between the NDCs that we don't need anymore. And we've moved to this whole ground network. So leveraging the existing network is sustainably the right thing to do. So by using our network to get your product in home to your customer, again, a sustainable solution. You're not putting another truck on the road to go to your mailbox. And then the other big advantage when talking to customers is our brand. We've got a very, very powerful brand. And people know and they trust their carrier. So our brand, delivering for your brand, we're a great extension of your brand. And your carrier knows your neighborhood. They know the people, they know the businesses, and there's that trust there. So do I want somebody I know and trust bringing my package to me? Absolutely. That would be my preference. So that's a lot of what I hear from customers is kind of, I'll say, the added benefits of leveraging this product or any postal products is that trusted relationship with the carrier to serve their customers and extending their brand for their customers.
Let's talk packaging supplies, right? Mm-hmm. So when I walk into a post office, I see our white boxes saying priority mail. I'm seeing it come in all shapes and sizes, some with padding, some with adhesive, you name it, we got it. What about Ground Advantage?
So for Ground Advantage, we're going to do something a little bit different because we're trying to keep this product really, really affordable. So what we're doing is for our bigger customers signing contract with us, if they are interested in us providing the USPS Ground Advantage, we are providing packaging for them. So you won't find it in our retail lobbies, but if you want to ship with us and you want it into your contract, we will absolutely do it for you.
Wonderful. And all that information on USPS.com, or how do they go about?
Yes, all that'll be out there on you. Or if you want to talk to a sales rep, you can reach out and connect with a sales rep, or, just call me. We're excited and ready to take on your packages to serve your customers.
So we would be remiss, of course, if we didn't ask about how Ground Advantage fits into delivering for America and our 10-year plan. Can you give us a little insight on that?
I can. Number one is within the Delivering for America plan, there's a tall order in there. It's grow the business by $24 billion over the period. So the only way we can grow the business effectively is by having the right products with the right service at the right price. So that is, USPS Ground Advantage, what we're doing with USPS Connect, it's all going to towards what we need to do to grow the business. Now, granted, that's the shipping side, but what a great way to get shipping and to grow your business and to grow, commerce in general is mail. Marketing mail is very, very powerful. And what we've done with informed delivery, just to really accentuate mail and then tie it into informed delivery for packages, is just this great, great, powerful offering that only the Postal Service can provide. So that's huge. So that $24 billion, yes, we're going after shipping. My team and I hyper-focused on shipping, but we know that mail will help people grow their business, which helps us grow packages. So that's number one. Number two, my team and I cannot do anything that we're doing without the rest of the organization and us supporting the execution of the rest of Delivering for America. So first and foremost, we got the legislation, which is awesome. So that gives us the mandate for this integrated network, which is huge. Then we've got all the work that our colleagues are doing to make our network more efficient, and that allows us to keep our prices affordable. So everything that our delivery and retail and our logistics partners, as well as our plant partners, are doing to improve efficiency, that helps us. Then we've got everything that's going on in the network redesign to improve the service reliability. That is the foundation from which we're building and what we're out there selling. And then as the entire team is implementing and executing on the future state network with our RPDCs, LPCs, and SNDCs, that just allows new access points for our customers to reach us and to do business with us. And it extends our reach so that we will be able to get further and reach more population in fewer numbers of days as we implement the new network design. So all of that is a ton that's helping us be successful and really offer what we need to offer for solutions for our customers. And then I have to talk too about what we're doing with the employees and employee engagement, because it's huge. So earlier I talked about that relationship that the carrier has on her route or his route with the customers out there. So they know the residents and they also know the businesses. So the more stable workforce, the more knowledgeable workforce, the more empowered we have of a workforce, it just helps us execute better for our shipping customers. They get that trusted delivery from their trusted carrier, and they get the service reliability to their end consumer. So those are some of the things, the benefits of all the work that's going on in the organization that my team and I get to sell on top of the great work that everybody's doing. So that $24 billion will be easy because our colleagues are just doing such an awesome job of setting us up for success to really offer what the customer need, an affordable price, service reliability. And then as things evolve, what new solutions can my team and I create? So, if we do an SNDC and we are going to move carriers into a massive delivery unit, what opportunity does that create? And talking to our customers about, okay, if I happen to have, X amount of square footage in that building, is there a way that we could leverage that space to grow more package business? So just really looking as we move through our network changes, what opportunities and what solutions are on the horizon. And I think the perfect example is what we did as an organization with COVID test kits. So where we did those COVID test kits, that was in, 45 plus of our annexes that we got a year and a half ago so that we could build out our capacity for our network. So it would help us as we were making this transition. And we were able to leverage that real estate asset to serve the purpose of getting the COVID test kits out. So that's what my team and I will be doing, a lot of moving forward is how do we leverage, whether it's transportation, buildings, our equipment, how do we leverage it to create solutions for customers?
So I want to circle back a little bit to more of that consumer perspective, right? So me as an individual, not a business owner, not somebody who ships out a whole heck of a lot, right? I'm very excited for this. It seems very simplistic, like to your point. I'm excited to be able to use it for my shipping needs. But let's say I was that small business, right? That entity that ships out quite often, and I've become very used to, let's call them legacy ground transportation products, right? Because affordable, whatever we want to refer to it as, but let's just say legacy for now. How is that transition going to affect me? And where can I go to get more information on it?
You can go to our website, USPS.com. You could also ask the carrier on your route, or you could ask at your local post office, and they'll have information as well. Or if you wanted to get into a more depth conversation, we can connect you with one of our sales professionals. So that would be where I would start. Then we've got our awesome, and I don't know if everybody knows about it, we've got this awesome tool that anybody can use, no software required, nothing. It's called Click and Ship. So you can go, USPS.com, go on Click and Ship. And if you, Dale, wanted to ship 20 packages a day, 75 packages a day, we've got a great tool for you. So you can log on to this tool and you can you can download, who you need to ship to that day. We can get the labels created for you. You can pay for your postage and boom, you're done. So it's one-stop shopping for you. Labels can be printed right there. If you don't happen to have a printer at home, like a lot of folks your age don't have printers at home, we can produce a QR code for you, and you can go in and scan that QR code at the post office, and your label will print out for you, and you're good to go. So our CIO team has done an awesome job really enhancing our Click and Ship so that it's simple and easy, regardless of the size of business, to really transact and to do business with us directly.
It sounds like you guys have really thought about this from all angles, and I'm sure it's appreciated by the community.
I hope so. It's cool. Yeah, so definitely try Click and Ship, and definitely Informed Delivery. When you're out there looking at Click and Ship, sign up for Informed Delivery as well.
Absolutely. I look at mine every morning.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Jackie, bottom line, it sounds like USPS Advantage is a win-win for both the Postal Service and our customers.
We definitely believe so. We are very, very excited to bring this product offering to our customers. As I said, between the 2 and 5 day service standard, again, from 5 day would be the tip of Florida to Washington State. Closer, you're going to have a 2 day service standard. So I think we've got what people need, the service reliability, and it's absolutely going to be affordable as well as price simplicity. No surprises at the end of the month, Dale. No surprises.
Jackie, thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking forward to having you back for our third installment when you have something else up your sleeve.
Awesome. I look forward to being here with exciting new solutions brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service.
Absolutely waiting for that next product rollout.
Great. Thanks, you too.
Now it's time for this episode's Did You Know? A segment we use to talk about fun and interesting facts about the Postal Service. I'll get things started. One of the most popular services the Postal Service has offered over time is the money order. Did you know that the Post Office Department began offering money orders in 1864? And that they were originally popular among Civil War soldiers as a way of sending and receiving funds while away from home. They soon became popular with the growing immigrant population when the service was extended to foreign money orders in 1869.
Hard to believe that sending money orders was ever a new concept.
Of course, there are lots of ways to send and receive money these days from your smartphone, but years ago you had a lot fewer options. You could send cash or personal check, but neither was as secure as the money order once it was introduced. It works this way. You buy a money order from a post office, bank, or grocery store for whatever amount you want, plus a nominal fee. The recipient is guaranteed payment at the location the sender specifies as long as the recipient has a form of ID and the sender can prove they actually sent the money order by producing their receipt.
All of this happens electronically today, but 160 years ago, it must have seemed like a revolutionary idea. My Did You Know highlights a much newer Postal Service innovation. It's an interesting technology called the Automated Package Verification Program, and the Postal Service uses it to automatically detect and collect postage due for pieces of mail. To give you some sense of how valuable automated package verification is, the technology collected more than $158 million in short paid revenue in fiscal year 2021.
What exactly is automated package verification?
Well, the Postal Service introduced automated package verification, or APV, back in 2017 for domestic packages with a built-in tracking barcode. The technology automatically checks each package for weight, dimensions, mail class, packaging, origin zip code, destination zip code, and postage paid. APV enables the Postal Service to notify shippers through click and ship or PC postage when differences in package characteristics are detected. USPS makes postage payment adjustments for affected items, rather than subjecting those pieces to the manual postage due process.
So what did we do before APV?
Well, before APV, mail with postage discrepancies was either returned to the shippers to be corrected, or it was delivered to its destination for the recipient to pay the postage due.
Which is not ideal.
No.
And that wraps up this episode of Did You Know?
Carla, another great conversation with Jakki. It was wonderful to have her back for a second time. You know, it's something that really stands out to me is the fact that USPS Ground Advantage feels like that next step, that next phase, with it complementing USPS Connect National.
Absolutely. It offered so many advantages for business owners, and what stood out for me is that set pricing. No surprises, you can budget for it, there'll be no extra fees at the end of the month. Well, everybody, that's all for this episode of Mailin' It. Don't forget to subscribe to Mailing It wherever you get your podcasts to make sure you don't miss the next episode, and follow along on Instagram at US Postal Service, Twitter at USPS, and on Facebook.